This is Global News. Tonight, reaction is mixed as the final report on municipal renewal in Saskatchewan is released.
I'm Stacey Carroll. Coming up on Global News, university students take a greater interest in the upcoming civic election. We'll have the details straight ahead on Global News.
And 30 hours on the air to raise money for breast cancer research.
Global News with Carrie Ferguson.
Good evening. 2 years and $750,000 later, the Task Force on Municipal Legislative Renewal has released its final report. The task force was set up to examine the future of municipal government in the province. Linda Walker has tonight's top story.
The task force generated a lot of anger in the rural areas when its interim report suggested reducing the number of municipalities from 1,000 to 125. While the final report makes no mention of how many municipalities should exist, Chair Joe Garcia says they still believe changes need to be made.
We believe that substantial consolidation needs to be accomplished. Exactly how that's done and by how much, that is for others to decide.
Garcia says the reports are not a blueprint, but rather building blocks towards municipal renewal. The task force chair says it's up to ratepayers, municipal governments, and the province to work out the details. Garcia says the Provincial Municipal Roundtable has made a positive step with an agreement in principle to eliminate obstacles to voluntary amalgamation, but it needs to go a little further.
It would be useful to take an extra half step and produce a statutory framework that makes it very clear how you go about establishing any form of larger unit or regional governance.
While the task force members say the contents of the interim report were misunderstood, it did spark a lot more interest in its work, although there is some concern that that will overshadow the contents of the final report.
It stimulated an entire debate on municipal governments that I don't really recall ever being debated as a hot topic before in Saskatchewan, and it confirmed how important as a level of government, municipal government is.
We're saying numbers are not really the important thing. There's a lot of other things in here. The recognition of the status of government, the finances, the powers of government.
Garcia says the process towards municipal renewal in this province has already begun. Now it's just a matter of what parts of the report people choose to use. Linda Walker, Global News, Prince Albert.
Municipal Affairs Minister Jack Hilson was not at today's news conference, but reaction to the task force report is mixed between those representing urban and rural interests.
It sort of goes along with what we've been saying through urban governments in this province for many, many years, that the legislation itself should be revised and reviewed. We want to talk about us as being a level of government. We want to talk about municipal governments such as ourselves, where we recognize the capacities that we have and what we don't have.
Certainly our members, and again, once they've read it, they will determine whether it's going to be an issue or not, but we don't see, I guess, the outcry that there was out of the interim report. It's a non-event. It will sit on the shelf.
I think the need for amalgamation is happening out there because of our population drop. So it's going to happen faster and faster. I mean, we're losing our schools. We've had a lot of hospital closures. So this isn't new to the people out there. Having somebody come along and ram it down your throat is new, and it wasn't accepted by the municipalities.
He is the first out of the gate. Today, a former MLA and cabinet minister announced he will seek the leadership of the new Democratic Party. Global's Tim Filizak traveled to Moose Jaw for the announcement.
Today, friends, I declare my intention to seek the leadership of the Saskatchewan New Democratic Party.
With that announcement, the race to succeed Premier Roy Romano has officially begun. Former Moose Jaw MLA and Cabinet Minister Lorne Calvert outlined today why he wants to be Premier.
I can think of no more exciting an opportunity, no more humbling a responsibility, no greater challenge or no greater honor than to lead the Saskatchewan New Democratic Party into the 21st century.
Calvert left politics 2 years ago to spend more time with his family. He recently returned to public life working as an advisor to the Premier, a position he has since taken a leave of absence from while he campaigns.
And this province has given to me, and now to our family, a very rich life. I love this province because it is my home. and I want it to be a rich and happy home for our children.
On hand for today's announcement was the current MLA for Moose Jaw-Waccamaw, Deb Higgins. Also supporting Calvert are two former cabinet ministers.
The passion and his dedication and his commitment to people in this province, he's the type of leader that I would want to support.
I've worked with him for 8 years.